Alright, so I came across something that I'm not sure if I already covered, but it's the concept of the shadow functions, and they remain in the unconsciousness in the cognitive functions stack. So I'm gonna go over them somewhat quickly. Hopefully, it's quickly. I'm on mypersonality.net, I think is what the website's called. So I'm just gonna skip through my main four functions and go to the last. Wait, what is this? Yes, these ones of the ENFP, which of course is my self-proclaimed type. Took in a couple tests that says I most likely am an ENFP. So my shadow cognitive functions are introverted intuition, extroverted feeling, introverted thinking, and extroverted sensing. Opposing role, critical parent, trickster, demon. So introverted intuition. I don't know too much about this function other than I think it could predict certain things in the future from what I know so far. Introverted intuition is the first shadow cognitive function, which takes over their primary function, which is any under extreme stress. So I'm normally open minded and easygoing. However, when my shadow kicks in, I could be closed minded, skeptical, and judgmental. All right, wow. Kind of want to believe that it's not true, but they aren't used to following their intuition. They trust their feelings and morals. However, their shadow can make false connections between events and get hunches that aren't always correct. In such states, they will struggle with the feeling that something bad is going to happen, which makes them lose their optimistic attitude. I guess that's the facial representation of what I would do. They become distrustful of other people, become self righteous, and they trust their intuition blindly and disregard other people's opinions. Okay, that's definitely bad. With the activated shadow, they behave similarly to unhealthy INFJs. That's because their shadow functions are the same as the primary INFJ cognitive functions, leading them to display many of the unhealthy traits seen in INFJs. Okay, so I just become an unhealthy INFJ, which is kind of confusing. Huh, I should probably learn more about INFJs then. What I know about them so far. Oh, well, I guess so far I know their cognitive function stack, which is this, but actually good and not bad, not unhealthy. So extroverted feeling. I don't really know this much. I don't know much about this function other than I think it's ethical while FI is moral. I think that's like a very simplified version of what extroverted feeling is. Okay, but how does it affect me in my shadow? ENFPs are independent thinkers who trust their own judgments. However, their second shadow function can make them doubt themselves and turn to others for validation. Oh, I see. So I would probably need external validation in order to. Put simply, FE makes ENFPs insecure about their ability to make decisions. This leads them to adopt a mob mentality. Oh, geez. This isn't comfortable for ENFPs who are naturally used to going against the flow. Well, that's not good. As a result, they lose confidence in themselves and become self critical. Although they're caring individuals, FE can make them too concerned with other people's feelings. Because of this, they might make decisions based on other people's needs and expectations. Catering to other people and seeking their approval creates an inner conflict in ENFPs. They can't understand being inauthentic, yet their shadow FE pushes them to please others. Ultimately, this could lead them to become disappointed in themselves. Okay, so if I become unhealthy, I basically give in to people's needs and expectations, and I become kind of contradictory when it comes to authenticity. Really not good. But anyway, introverted thinking. When they are in their shadow, they use introverted thinking instead of their TE. Besides turning their dreams into reality, TE helps them organize their thoughts and ideas. To do so, they share them with other people or otherwise express them, as TE is an extroverted function, right? understand that. So if I use my shadow TI, I withdraw from people. Instead, I turn inwards and attempt to organize my thoughts. This often leads them into self-isolation and become overly focused on facts. Okay. In this state, ENFPs may also act completely out of character. Those around them, they could become cold, calculated, and reserved. Interesting. They could become much harsher in their communications. And if I'm too deep into my TI, I could insult other people and justify this by claiming I'm just spitting facts. In reality, however, they likely don't mean anything bad. TI simply tricks ENFPs into believing that they could pull through by being rational, logical, and factual. The third, oh, it's called the trickster for a reason. So it'll trick me. Facts will trick me. It's quite interesting. Anyway, now my extroverted sensing. Okay, I did learn a lot about this recently, so somewhat absent-minded. Most of the time they're in their heads brainstorming new ideas or dreaming of traveling the world. Sounds about right, honestly. This isn't because their NE is their primary function. Extroverted sensing, which is responsible for being in tune with the external world, is their least developed function. Because of this, ENFPs tend to not be very grounded in reality. So if I get into too much stress, I could have expressions of SE, which leads me to seek thrills and adventures at any cost. And this could be dangerous for me and people around me. Oh crap. Unlike other personality types with inferior or undeveloped SE, ENFPs don't typically indulge in overeating or laziness. Instead, they become reckless, make hasty decisions, and participate in dangerous activities, such as reckless driving, just to get their blood pumping. I definitely need to not do that. If anything, that kind of does make me a little concerned for unhealthy INFJs. Though that's if they're unhealthy, which I could relate to, I guess, really deeply. Let's see if I could find more. Alright, so this looks like an interesting website. I kind of like it, to be honest. We stand for love with the heart emoji, of course. I find this to be quite charming. And look, it has crystals and they have little animations. Let's see what the information has to offer. I don't know, maybe I should sign in and match. Ooh, match with someone. Anyway, let's try not to get off topic. What am I doing again? Oh, right, the cognitive functions. Okay, so my dominant function, imagination, auxiliary, tertiary function. SI is detail. It's my inferior. All right, this is the opposing, the shadow opposing. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. MBTI couple come here often. This is my fucking. Alright. Okay. Introverted intuition gives us the gift of intuition. Okay, so the shadow function, also known as nemesis, it contradicts their dominant any. It opposes their ways of generating multiple alternatives to come up with the best fitting situations by foreseeing effects and implications. It calls out their self-inflicted doubts and paranoia around people who use NI and perceive them as needlessly oppositional and egotistic. As they tap into their opposing function, they may start to think things like, why are they ignoring my brilliant ideas? Why am I being stopped from exploring other possible options? Or why are they purposely negating everything I suggest? They become stubborn and overthinking negative outcomes. Okay. Alright, so extroverted feeling attacks the ego by inflicting shame and disappointment, criticizes their inability to be in harmony with those around them, as they prefer to tune in to their inner values and beliefs. I will feel disconnected from others, may not know how to respond to their needs. They tend to feel ashamed and frustrated as they get awkwardly stuck in a group where they don't fit in. As they tap into their critical shadow function, they will start to have intrusive thoughts such as, why am I such a weirdo? Am I too selfish to think of others? Or why are they trying to please everyone and lose themselves in the process? Is that what I would say to someone who's using dominant extroverted feeling? Would I just be critical of extroverted feeling people? I really hope not. Then TI Trickster, that's What I use, okay, overwhelming inward and logical approach. I prefer extroverted thinking in my processing information function, but I tend to get exhausted mapping out every detail to make the idea work. I get stuck in analysis paralysis when they utilize their trickster, failing to come up with logical conclusions, and I would manipulate others who use TI by subtly ridiculing their thoughts and invalidate their arguments and rational troubleshooting. They deflect the attention from themselves and mock their opponents to reverse and control the situation. I don't want to manipulate TI users. It's a lot for me to think about. Okay, my daemon function. This is probably the worst one. I thought it's a daemon function, which I was like, oh, that I guess it could technically both apply, whether it's demon or daemon. The gift of senses, right? Enhancing sight, sound, smell, and body movements. Oh yeah. All right. Anyway, how does it affect me? All right, demon shadow position is the least developed function of ENFPs. Tuning into the sensory details of their lives infuses and exhausts their dominant any. They prefer to see the world as it could be rather than how it currently is. So, since I don't use this function on a daily basis, I will struggle with committing to the practicality of the real world, project negative energy to those who use SE. Oh crap. And I would get infuriated by their approach of adhering to the present and physical stimuli around them. Fixating themselves to the real world is not their forte, as they live in the world of impressions and possibilities. Well, I just had quite the paradigm shift. So I guess something that I should try not to do with SE users is project negative energy. Well, okay, I gotta not ridicule TI users, and I gotta not project negative energy to SE users. And then with FE users, I should not judge them too much. Well, I mean, I guess it's not judging too much. I would just understand why are they trying to do that, which I guess now I have the answer because they're an FE user. So I think I could get better acquainted with extroverted feelers and TI users or SE users. It's interesting because I think learning about the dominant SE users and TI users will make me respect those people who do use them on their day to day. Oh wait, INFJ. Okay, I should learn more about INFJs. Just because if I'm around them and they're unhealthy, I could maybe help them. I guess it depends. So yeah, it's a lot to think about.